Hello everyone, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are your Bourbon Journey. So this is sort of the culmination of the pieces that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. It started in Bardstown, Kentucky, and it was ending at Glens Creek Distillery. We were invited to the 10th anniversary of the distillery, which is located, if you don't know, on the property of the Old Crow Distillery. David Meier has done an outstanding job creating his own brand, honoring the tradition that came before him and loving the property. So we proceeded to get there. It was about 4:30 or 4:45.
Yep.
We parked our car. We parked next to this gigantic truck, and we were told by somebody, can you move the car back just a little bit? They were trying to organize stuff. So Rebecca jumped in. She started to move the car back. And this guy gets out and comes up behind me. He goes, "Don't lean on my truck." And it was Kurt from SLB. He ends up shaking my hand, kind of gives me a hug. Very nice guy. And we ended up with Kurt and Trenton in line.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this about both of those guys. What you see on camera is very real. Even Trenton's eyebrow. So we checked in. We got tickets for a drawing. Of course, we didn't win. And we ended up sitting at a table with a group of people that just were thrilled. And everybody that was there that night was happy to be there. They were all very nice. You had some characters. You had the bourbon judge. He showed up. We talked to him a little bit later. Very nice guy. There was a gentleman who actually was one of the ones that encouraged me with his bottle, I walked up to him and basically asked him, "Why are you carrying a silver cup? And you look like a pirate."
Well, he had like a full suit on
Yeah.
and tie, and most people were pretty casual because we were in a warehouse.
and it's not exactly cool in there.
Yeah, I mean it's May.
Nice guy, really nice guy.
So what the guy tell you? Because you walked up and asked him a specific question.
Yeah, so I asked him. It's like, okay, why are you carrying this cup?
A silver cup.
A silver cup, and you look like a pirate. And he's like, well, he goes, I like that because I don't want to carry a Glencairn because of the fact that it might break.
Practical.
That he's had this happen before.
And everyone there is a huge David Meier, John Kemper, Glens Creek Distilling fan club.
Yes.
I mean, we were there because we are massive fans. We love what they do. We appreciate what they do. We buy what they make and enjoy it and share it. I mean, we've talked about before that when people come over and they want to try something in this bourbon library, we're like, if they let us pick, we pick Glens Creek a lot.
Yep. We had our friends come over that had reconditioned a barrel head that was made back in the day in 1981 from Old Crow. And we had it signed that night. So anyway, so now we're going to lead to this bottle. They were having an auction because if you know what the conditions were, what happened, there was a huge flood in Kentucky. Glens Creek got hit big time.
Big time. And we saw the double stack barrels and they showed water lines were on the highest level. The water was up to here. And we were in a warehouse where traditionally they would have backed trucks in there. So you're thinking about how high is a semi truck to start with, because that's the floor level, and it got almost to the top of that barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just crazy to think about that being that deep in there. It was nuts.
Yeah.
They're still recovering. They're still cleaning up. It's going to take a while, and they lost forklifts and had to repurchase stuff. So you can still donate. So I'll put up a little sign again for how you can make donations. Or just buy a bottle and put it in the vault, right?
Yeah,
because that really helps them too. If you just buy their product or go online and get a gift card so you can do a tour when you come, that helps them because it's going to take them probably a year to recover from all this. They're up and operating, but it takes time to make up for all that and all this stuff cleanup they've gone through.
Yeah.
So, not to digress too much, but I just want to say that just don't forget, just because the sun is shining and the places are dry now, they still need help.
Yes, and believe me, it's going to good people. Among the people that we have met on our bourbon journey, David Meier is one of the best that I've met, and I have a heart for this guy. I love him a lot. Good guy. So anyway, there was a table out that basically had auction items, and I had decided I really wanted to buy something. We were going to basically make our donation through a purchase.
And a lot of these were bottles from David's private collection.
Yes.
So he had saved things through the years, and he was putting them up on the auction block. They're no longer available to, do some fundraising.
Yeah. So I walk over the table, and in whatever auction or thing I've been involved with in life, I've always tried to pick out something that's different. So as I'm looking around the table, I noticed this bottle. I've never seen this bottle. I have no idea. I didn't even read it. I just kind of looked at the title of it. I didn't even connect what it was. And I thought, I'm going to bid on this. So I came back to my wife and told her this is the one I want. I took a picture of it. So what is, I have no idea. It's just different label, don't have it. So we ended up, I stood by the table, grabbed the pen, and anytime I've been involved with an auction, if I won something, I'm serious. 8 o'clock came, we were the winning bidders, and handed over the cash and purchased this bottle. And today we're going to review that. Rebecca, do you want to give, after I blabbed for a while, you want to give a little bit of review of what you know, or what little we know about this bottle?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Thanks. First, we know from David Meier, when he saw that when we were hugging him and taking pictures with him, he noted that we got his favorite bottle from his collection, and that he only made 3 barrels of this ever. So that's just a little bit about it. What the back of the label states is, Millville Malt Whiskey is named after the town in which our historic distillery is located. We ferment this whiskey in the traditional Scottish style from a mash of 100% malted barley with peated malt added for a hint of smokiness. We triple distill it in our special pot still designed and built by us, and age it in used bourbon barrels to provide a sweeter, mellow flavors typically associated with malt whiskey. The result is unlike anything you have tasted before. Its classification is a Kentucky Malt Whiskey made by Creek Distilling. Again, it is 100% malted barley with peated malt added. Aged at least 1 year in aged bourbon barrels. It is 96.2 proof. Specifically, this was barrel number 2 of 3 and bottle number HF9. And again, as Wayne said, this is part of an auction fundraiser, and we feel very fortunate to have this bottle. And we've also promised David that when we come back for our next visit, we'll bring it with us to share a pour.
Yep.
Well, let's get into it because we've talked enough.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot. So in the bottle, this is super dark in the bottle. And for not many single malts are that dark.
No.
We have a few that are, but it's very dark in the bottle. A little lighter in our glass, but again, we kind of anticipate that just based on the fact that, the lights and all that stuff. But it's let's see what it does with the legs. They're starting to form. I'm expecting some nice legs on this. Oh yeah, it's already coming down. It's going to be great. Yeah. Yeah. When I was pouring this, I was trying not to smell it because I don't want to get influenced before I have a chance. But I was telling when I go, oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Yeah, I was sitting at this end of the table on the opposite side, and she started pouring. She goes, oh my gosh. And I'm like.
And I wasn't like getting into it. I mean, I was back just pouring the glass, and it was like, whoo.
And I was trying to stay back because I didn't want to be influenced.
These legs are beautiful. I got to smell it. Oh, butterscotch. Wow.
There's that peatiness.
Very light, but the butterscotch hit me first. Oh, it's just, the nose is luscious.
Oh.
You get the barley.
Yes.
Barley note has a softness to it. It even smells creamy. I know that sounds crazy. It's something can smell creamy, but that's how it smells.
I'm not getting the butterscotch yet, but I'm getting like a little bit of vanilla.
Mine is butterscotch all day long.
And if you had single malts are heavy barley. I mean,
single malts are all over the map.
Yeah.
There's so many, whatever you finish them in has so much to do with it, and your approach, how much peat and everything, or if you peat or don't peat.
That was the question.
That is the question.
It has a very soft, presentable nose.
Luscious. It's a luscious nose. It makes me want to just sit here. I mean, you'd be bored to tears, but I could sit here for like the next 20 minutes and just smell this.
Yeah, this is one of those ones you could really play around with and probably get more and more as you're nosing it.
Because really great noses, I mean, I almost like it more than tasting it. But sometimes you just want to sit there. Because sometimes you're afraid that if you're going to taste it, it might not live up to the nose.
Right.
And so you kind of just hang on the nose a little bit. But we won't do that because otherwise you guys would be very bored. So I think we need to taste this.
Absolutely. So
cheers to David Meier and everyone at Creek Distilling. We cannot wait to taste this Millville Malt.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
Oh, crap.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Sweetness, barley, sweetness, barley, sweetness, barley.
Smoke. Don't forget the smoke.
At the end.
I mean, it's got this, I mean, the description had a light smoke in it, and that's what I would call it. It's complimentary. I've had some peated drinks where you feel like you're just getting hit in the head with that, and you almost can't taste everything. But this still is coming across butterscotch to me, and you've got this creaminess of the malt, but then you're reminded that it's got this light smokiness to it that I'm really enjoying a lot. And I am typically, there's only a couple peated things that I've enjoyed. And this is now one of those. Just saying. I'm back to the nose because it's luscious. And the nose really sets up your mind for what your palate's about to receive. And this is a good thing. One of my biggest frustrations with a pour is when the nose contradicts the palate.
Yeah.
It's just your mind is messed up, right? Whether it's a great nose and an iffy palate or an iffy nose and a great palate, you're like, well, why didn't you give me something on the nose? When the nose sets up what you're about to experience, and I will say the only hint that's different on the palate is really that smokiness. Because I didn't have that on the nose, but the butterscotch and the malt and the creaminess was all on the nose, and then I'm getting it on the palate too.
I'm really envious that you're getting the butterscotch because I'm not, but I'm getting a creaminess. I'm getting like a light vanilla, and the smokiness for me now is in the front, and the peatiness is there, and it's still this whole boom, 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 boom in a series.
It's great.
And the legs, I will say this, the
Amazing.
legs have formed tremendously in this glass.
And I keep saying it smells creamy and it tastes creamy and it is creamy. The viscosity is phenomenal on this. And if you've ever watched a video, you know I'm all about that mouthfeel because if it's thin, you just don't get as many flavors and you certainly don't have a good finish. So this one is just hitting on all cylinders for me. We told Dave we didn't like it, we bring it back to him. Dave will share it with you, but we're not going to bring it back to you. We'll just bring it back to share.
Well, I would say if he ever really, because I told him this that night that, you know, I kind of felt that we made a purchase, but I really felt that this was something that, you know, if he really wanted it back, that we would be the caretakers of it. I don't think he'd ever ask for it back because I know the guy.
But my preference is that we will be visiting Dave, and he's been to our home before for the eclipse last year, and we'll go back there. And we also have another bottle to take for him.
Yeah.
And I mean, we would like to just be out on the property with him and have that bottle and share this bottle together, because I think that that's what great pours are about, is sharing with someone you care about and enjoying the conversation and taking in the moment, right? So
yes, that
will be happening.
Yes, and that's something
non-negotiable.
That's something. Yeah, that's something that will be happening, and I kind of can see the bottle that back there.
I can see it really clearly from where I am.
Yeah.
So this is fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the finish. I don't think we have.
No, we have not.
Okay, because I got so excited about the nose and the palate. So let's get the finish. I mean, while I've been jabbering away about that, I mean, it's just the finish is lingering. And I just want to clarify, the nose, the butterscotch on the nose is very sweet. The butterscotch on the palate is a little bit more savory. but it's still butterscotch for me. So you said you weren't getting it. I just want to say it's a little bit different because the smokiness is coming through. So it's changing up that butterscotch kind of thing.
To me, the finish is the peatiness. It's the barley.
And the barrel, even though the barrel wasn't, it's only aged for a year. So you're not getting huge barrel notes, but I think the peatiness brings forward what you normally get in a barrel note.
Yeah.
Because you're getting some of that char feeling. You're getting some of those smoky notes. It's almost like a tobacco that you're getting, right? It's got that whole thing going on. I'm not getting spiciness, right? It's a lovely warmth that just sits there and just continues. I would call it a long finish.
Yes.
And lots of times your longer finishes are higher proof. This is 96 something, 96.2, I think. So it's not a high proof, but it's just really lingering in a lovely way. This could make me examine more peated things. I'm just saying, because David did such a good job with this. And we've had people tell us we need to go down that lane every now and then. But I mean, David Meier did such a masterful job with this.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
And we have had a few single malts, and I've liked them, and there's some that I really love. This is probably the first one that I can recall that the barley is in the back, and I'm really getting it. It's an
he
awesome,
loves barley, by the way.
It's an awesome and unique finish, and yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody
like
talks about barley, but he loves it when he has a 4 grain and he can taste the barley. He loves that aspect of a single malt. I mean, Wayne talks about that quite a bit. So, yeah, this is one definitely in your wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
I just love the journey it takes you on between it's very sweet on the nose, and then it becomes slightly more savory on the palate, but it doesn't lose the sweetness. It still teases you a bit with the sweetness on the palate. And then the finish is more, even the light smokiness starts, but then it becomes more of that char almost in a little bit, maybe a hint of tobacco on the finish, even though it had a light aging process, but that's the peatiness coming through. I'm digging it.
Did David talk when we mentioned about this? Didn't he talk about the fact that he's kind of gone back and forth and maybe doing it again?
Well, he talked about it was a bitch to make or something like that. I think that may be his exact word. Yeah. That it was really it was really challenging to make, let's say, and that he's really thinking about doing it again.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, yes, do it again.
Yes. And I do think if you do it again, Dave, you probably will watch this. If you do this again, I think you need to have a 3, 4, 5 barrel and cut it. And just keep it very limited. Keep it very limited. Keep it really special.
Well, but I think that, probably when he was doing this, right now we have this American single malt boom.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like, it's a category now. People are really into it. People are trying it. And people that didn't drink American single malt, 5 years ago are loving it now. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why he stopped making it, besides the fact it was difficult and it was challenging. But anytime you have 100% malted stuff, that's going to be more challenging because malting process is difficult. I think it would be a very popular product now.
Yeah.
Because of the American single malt movement.
And I just think about that guy from the auction talking about the fact that he had a premium version of this.
I can't even fathom that.
I can't even fathom it. But like I said,
they do premium stuff where they hand filter it and do all these other things. It's like crazy good
It's
stuff.
Like if you had OCD premium and pretty much any of their versions, they have a premium version of it. And that's entirely different discussion what the process is. But it is very rich. It tends to be very dark. Matter of fact, our buddies that redid our Old Crow barrel head, when they were over here, we poured them the OCD Premium. And they were absolutely in shock because it looked black.
They were almost afraid to drink it because they're like, what did you just pour in that glass? Because it's black. It looks like black water. And I'm like, trust me, you want to drink it.
And the minute that they tasted it, they just flipped out. And
they're like, what am I drinking?
And
they were so excited. I think this is fantastic. I feel I'm so happy you eyeballed this and decided that's what you were going for, because we have so many beautiful offerings from Glens Creek Distillery, and the fact that now we have another one that's not made today, I think is very, very special, and I'm excited about it. And I'm loving this.
So as the event was wrapping up, the one thing that we had not had an opportunity to do yet was meet the bourbon judge. And so as we walked outside and I was carrying my bottle and the glasses and such, the bourbon judge was out there and he was really cool. And we walked up to him and asked him, can you take a picture with us and the SLB guys? And he was like, yeah, sure. So one of the guys that was standing there was, yeah, I'll take a picture of all of you. So he gave him the camera. And while I'm there, I really regret this, because if you look at the picture that Rebecca's going to insert, I look really awkward because I'm holding the bottle and I was very cognizant of the fact there was only 3 barrels. There's not many bottles, and who knows how many left. And I'm thinking, don't drop this stupid bottle.
We should have just changed places. Then it wouldn't have looked as funny if he would have been holding the bottle on the end.
Yeah.
But he was holding it like into me.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'd asked the guys to give me a minute to take it in the car, they'd have been like cool with it. But it was like, I was kind of excited at that point, and I'm thinking, just don't drop the bottle. That's all I could think.
And we'd had a really long day. So we probably weren't thinking quite as well.
We had. The day started very early in the morning at Glens Creek, and it was finishing at Glens Creek. So.
Yeah, so that was fun. We got the picture, and it was just, I think, one last thing to say about the anniversary was that it was a gathering of people that love Dave and all the people that work there, the products they do, and what it stands for. And I cannot encourage you enough to make a visit there.
Yes.
And I know we've said it before, but we've been to 65 distilleries and over 200 bourbon experiences. And we cherish the ones at Glens Creek very close to our heart. Mm-hmm. And it's not just where it is and what it is, it's the whole package. It's from who's doing it to where the deep spirited, rooted location of it, and the spirits that they make. Everything about it is top notch, and you really can't complete your bourbon journey until you've gone there.
Totally agree. So with that, let's give out a big shout out. David, Vicki, and John, you have done a lot to keep that place going and to keep the history of Old Crow going, as well as developing Glens Creek from the Old Crow mash. Cheers to all of you out there. If you like what we do, hit the subscribe button. Always remember to drink responsibly and have a great day. Cheers.
Cheers.